Hi there, grade. This is Miss Cornejo, and I am so excited to be teaching you some math today. For today's lesson, you will need a pencil, a blank piece of paper, or a notebook, your third grade math packet, and a virtual number line, which I'm going to be linking down here, but I'm just going to show you how to access that super quickly through Google. So once you are on Google, if you just type in Math Learning Center apps, it should be your very first search result. So once you click that, you will have access to a ton of virtual manipulatives that you can use. And I'm going to be using the number line today. So let's get started. Today we're going to focus on solving story problems, and we're going to do this by using a virtual number line and our favorite strategy in third grade. Can you guess which one that is? You guessed it. It's UPS check. And so it is important that we successfully solve tricky story problems because these are going to be around in third grade, in fourth grade, and even beyond. And so I know you will be successful when solving these story problems by utilizing UPS check. And yes, that means you are checking your work and using a number line to solve for it. So let's get started. I encourage you to, on your blank piece of paper, you can create something like this, or you can even just do it on this side and just fold it into fourths, understand, plan, solve, and check. It's up to you. I am using one that I've created here. And so I just broke it up into fourths and I labeled them. And this is a word problem that I'm going to be working with today. And I am going to go ahead and read it, and I'm going to make sure that I'm also underlining important things that I know I need to keep an eye for. So, Miss Williams drove 149 miles on Thursday and 159 miles on Friday. About how many miles did she drive altogether? I'm going to read it once more just to make sure that I have all the important information and details that I need to solve for understand. Miss Williams drove 149 miles on Thursday and 159 miles on Friday. About how many miles did she drive altogether? So I'm going to go ahead and highlight important information. I know that 149 miles on Thursday is going to be important. And 159 miles on Friday. I'm also going to underline that because that's the other date that's given to me. So I think that will also be important. And then I'm also going to make sure that I know what my question or what the problem is asking me to solve for. So it says, how many miles did she drive altogether? So how many miles altogether? That's what I'm solving for. So now I'm going to move on to my understand portion. Understand. What do I know based off of the problem and based off of what I already highlighted in my problem? So I know that she drove 2 days. Thursday, and she also drove Friday. And I know that I'm solving for the amount of miles that she drove altogether. So miles driven altogether. Okay, so now I can move on to my plan. And so for my plan portion, I want to flush out my understand. I want to make sure that I'm adding a lot more details, that I'm a lot more specific. So what do I know? So for Thursday, if I'm more specific, she drove 149 miles on Thursday. And looking at Friday, I need to be more specific with Friday. On Friday, and 159 miles on Friday. So Friday, I can go ahead and write 159 miles. And now it says, how many miles did she drive altogether? So I want to make sure I understand, what does altogether mean? I know that's a key word, but what exactly does that mean? So altogether means I'm going to be adding My operation is going to be addition. So I know I'm solving for the amount of miles driven altogether. And now, like I told you, my number line strategy is what I'm going to be using to solve this problem. Next, I need to solve. And so here I have my virtual number line, and now I'm going to be adding or combining those two numbers that Miss Williams drove, the amount of miles that Miss Williams drove on Thursday and the amount of miles that she drove on Friday. I'm going to be combining those two to find the total amount that she drove on both days. So here I have my virtual number line. I'm going to go ahead and write down my starting point, which is 149 miles. And so that's the amount that she drove on Thursday. And I need to expand my number 159 as 100 plus 50 plus, plus 9. And this is just going to help me so that I know exactly how many times I'm going to be adding, or exactly what numbers I'm going to be adding to 149. So 149 is my starting point. And now I'm going to go ahead and add 100 to it. So here I'm going to have 100. Let me make that darker. And so that's going to be my first amount here. Because remember, I broke down, or I decomposed 159. So now I am at 149 plus 100 is 249. So I have 249 now. And now I'm going to be adding 50 to it. So again, I'm going to use that same amount here. And now I'm adding 50 to it. Plus 50. And a 249, let's see, plus 50, that's hard for me to calculate in my head. So I'm just going to go ahead and write it down. 249 plus 50. That's easier for me to see. 9 plus 0 is 9. So let's see. And 4 plus 5 is 9, 299. So now I'm at 299. But I'm not done yet. I still have to add my 9 here. And so I'm going to make sure I hop one more time. And I'm going to be adding 9 here. And so, 299 plus 9. I know that I can break apart 9 into 8 and 1. So if I add 1 to 299, that's 300. And then I have 8 left over, that's 300. So I have 300 left over. 308 is going to be my ending point. So now I'm in my last portion, which is the check component, which is so important, probably the most important part. So I'm going to go ahead and utilize my same strategy of using a number line. This time I'm going to go ahead and begin with my total, or my sum, which was 308 miles. And so that's going to be my starting point. And I'm going to deduct or subtract. I'm going to do the inverse, opposite. I'm going to go ahead and subtract 100 because I'm going to be deducting 159. Oops, 100. And now I'm at 208. Make that run. Now I'm at 208. But that is hard for me to see. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract first 8. One part. I'm going to go ahead and first subtract 8. Here. So I'm at a friendly number because that's easier for me to work with. So now I'm at 200. And remember, my number that I was subtracting is 159. So I've already subtracted 108. So that means I still have to subtract 151. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 50 as my next number. Because now I have easier numbers to work with or friendlier numbers to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 50. Now I'm at 150. I'm not done yet. So then if I add these, 100 plus 50 is 150, plus 8 is 158. But remember, the number I was subtracting is 159. So now I'm going to subtract one more. Oops. Here we go. If I can drag it, here we go. So now I'm going to subtract one more. And one. Which means I am now at 149. And that was my starting point, 149 on Thursday, 159 on Friday. And that's how we check. Now I want you to try a problem on your own. So the problem says Inez has 699 pennies and 198 nickels. Estimate how many more pennies than nickels she has. What's the first step you should do? If you said reread your problem, you're right. You should reread your problem. Inez has 699 pennies and 198 nickels. Estimate how many more pennies and nickels she has. First, we want to make sure that we understand the problem. So what should you do with your words, your problems here, or your story problem here? That's right. You should underline it so that you don't miss important information. What do you do next? You should write out what you understood from the text. What important information is in your story? For your plan, what do you do? That's right. You flesh out the important information. You add a lot of details and you are very specific. And this is also where you will be deciding what operation do I use? Maybe what's your equation? Once I have made my plan, what does it mean to solve? That means you're doing the operation. Good. Which strategy will you use to check? Can you think of a different way to check? Great job, third grade. This assignment is in your homework math packet. Again, that looks like this. And these specific problems are on page P56. I can't wait to work with you again. Remember, if you need help with your homework, make sure to reach out to your teacher on Class Dojo. See you next time.